Manga-Waido.
My name is Rikuto Tanaka. Until half a year ago, I was working as a salesman in the sales department of a small trading company. However, my boss in the sales department was so harsh at his bullying of his subordinates that I fearfully expressed, "Isn't this crossing the line?" and was fired after less than 2 years. I was at my wit's end when I lost my job and hurriedly looked for a new one. As a result, I managed to get picked up by a certain real estate company. Although it's not my field, I can't afford to complain. I've only been with the company for a short time, and the main job I've been assigned was to register properties online given to me by my seniors. I'm not good at office work, to be honest, and I'm having a hard time doing simple tasks, partly because I'm not used to this industry. Let's see, the next property...
Rikuto.
Yes! I jumped up and turned around fearfully to see Nami-san, who was the chief, standing there. Nami Saotome, who is 1 year older than me, is the daughter of the president of this company. However, she did not flaunt her position, was super stoic about her work, and was a strong person who had risen to the position of chief at a young age. She's strict with herself, but also with others, and is feared as the demon chief. And the smile I'm seeing on her face right now was known as the cold-hearted smile that demons show. And it comes out when Nami-san is really angry.
I checked the property information I asked for the other day, and it's wrong again. The numbers for deposit and key money are messed up.
I'm sorry!
How many times have I told you? Making the same mistake over and over again is a sign of lack of concentration.
Yes, I will be careful.
I want it corrected and submitted by the end of the day. Understood?
I'll fix it right away!
Ugh.
Not even a reply. She's so scary. Nami-san is not only strict with her subordinates.
Manager, did you check the letter I gave you the day before yesterday?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do it now.
Didn't I ask you to check it as soon as possible? I'd like to have it by the end of the day at the very least. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The manager clicked his tongue audibly over Nami-san's back as she walked away. In fact, it is well known within the company that the manager is jealous of Nami-san. Often at drinking parties when Nami is not present, she's so cocky even though she got promoted to chief just because she's the president's daughter. She's a bit intense, isn't she? Because she knows her position, she always gives me complaints. Someday, I'm gonna get her back. Well. The senior employee was dealing with the manager's complaints. If you spoil the manager's mood, it's obvious that you'll get into trouble later. Yes, it is not only Nami-san who is scary. In fact, this manager Kondo was actually a bit of a handful as well. For example, the other day when the manager was in a bad mood.
My son has a field day next month, so I'd like to take the day off.
Huh? You can't even do your job well, and yet you take days off?
I apologize.
You're lucky to work for a company that gives you so many days off. Oh, I want this job done by today, okay?
What? Yes, I understand.
He then forced her to do a ton of paperwork that required overtime. After that, the manager's bad mood continued and kept ignoring the employee's requests for several days. Therefore, it's prohibited to offend the manager's mood. It's true that Chief Nami is scary, but everything she says was correct. On the other hand, Manager Kondo is unreasonable and things always go according to his mood. Knowing that the manager has an ugly envy towards her, I spent my time carefully avoiding being noticed as much as possible. One day off, there was warning for heavy rain during the day, but fortunately it turned into a drizzle by the evening. Okay, this is doable. I went out to a convenience store to buy dinner. I live in a cheap apartment which is quite far from my office and the traffic is inconvenient. But I lost a lot of my savings during my unemployment period, so I continue to live here since the rent is cheap. After I finished getting some food, I saw a familiar figure on my way home. No way! I went closer and there was... What? Chief? Nami-san was standing there alone and I was so surprised that I called out to her without thinking.
Oh, Rikuto, good evening. What are you doing here?
I live nearby. What are you doing here?
Well, actually...
Nami-san told me that she came all the way here because she was ordered by her manager to respond immediately to an elevator malfunction at a property she manages around here. The company car was out of service, so she managed to come by train in the heavy rain to deal with it. The train stopped because of it, and she was unable to go home. You look pretty wet. You can come over to my place if you'd like.
Oh, I'd feel bad.
If you're in trouble, we're both in trouble. You always take care of me, so...
Then I'll take your word for it.
And so, Nami-san came over to my place. I gave her the shower and some clothes that a woman could manage to wear. And then, Nami-san came out of the shower.
I'm sorry for all the troubles. You've been very helpful.
She thanked me with a smile I'd never seen before. She's cute! My heart fluttered a little when Nami-san smiled softly, but then her eyes switched to work mode.
But your room is too messy. How can you make it so messy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And do you only eat convenience store lunches and cup noodles?
Yes.
You'll get sick someday if you keep eating like that. Taking care of yourself is part of your job. You need to get your life in order.
Yes! I'm sorry! She suddenly started lecturing me, and I shrunk back. I let out a sigh and spilled my true feelings to Nami-san. Chief, you're incredibly stoic. Don't you ever get tired?
I don't have time to be tired. If I cut corners even a little, people will say that I became a chief because I'm the president's daughter. I have to work hard so they don't say that.
Chief, I didn't know what to say to Nami-san, who looked a little sad. After that, I drove Nami-san home. On the next day at work, I felt optimistic. After what happened yesterday, maybe Nami-san would be a little nicer to me after that. I had such naive expectations.
Hey, I gave you this document last weekend. You haven't finished it yet?
Oh, I'm almost done! Her strict guidance did not change. I was a fool to expect otherwise. But a job is a job. I have to do it right! I started cooking for myself at home, started taking better care of my health, and got more motivated to work. Then, I guess getting used to the industry helped, but my work efficiency started improving gradually. Then one day, a few months later, recently, I frequently saw Nami-san working overtime. Rumor has it that the manager is harassing Nami and assigning her excessive work. When I looked at Nami-san on my way home that day, her complexion was noticeably pale. She looked blue and had dark circles under her eyes. I was worried about Nami-san, so I called out to her. Chief, is there anything I can help you with?
Thanks, but I can do it on my own. You've been working overtime too, haven't you?
Yes, but...
It's okay. You can go home.
I couldn't persist any longer, so I went home. But then a week later, something happened. Nami-san was being scolded by the manager. I've never seen such a scene before. Apparently, before submitting important documents of a client who signed a contract yesterday to the manager, it was revealed that a copy of the client's driver's license was missing.
My apologies. It was surely on my desk until I left my seat earlier. So I will look for it ASAP.
If you don't find it, it's a breach of customer information. That's a serious accident. You will understand that?
Of course. I'm sorry.
If they signed the contract yesterday, you should have submitted it by the end of the day in the first place. Are you slacking off just because you're the boss's daughter?
What Nami-san is most concerned about. I stood in front of Nami-san and refuted the chief's outburst. Manager, with all due respect, the chief is not the kind of person who takes advantage of her position as the president's daughter to cut corners on her work. Generally speaking, the amount of work you are turning over to the chief these days is clearly too much.
Huh? What's this out of the blue? Do you know what happens when a lackey like you talks back to me?
I'm just saying what needs to be said. Please, stop being bitter.
Rikito-kun.
You!
Then one of the employees interrupted. I saw the manager taking away the documents when the chief was out of her seat.
I also saw him put it into the shredder.
What? What are you all talking about?
I cleaned the shredder out this morning, and no one started it until the manager. If we combine the contents of the shredder, we can restore it.
What? Do you know how long that's gonna take?
I'll do it no matter how long it takes. The other employees were willing to help me as well. I guess everyone was frustrated with the manager who was always in the mood to take it out on everyone else.
I'm putting this matter on hold. Go back to work!
The manager forcibly cut the conversation.
Sorry. Thanks. You saved me.
Nami-san muttered softly to me and returned her seat. And a few weeks later, someone completely different from Kondo was sitting in the manager's seat. That's right, we won. After that incident, Nami-san was quite conflicted, but since it was a serious matter involving client information, she reported it to the section manager. It was conveyed to the higher-ups and eventually reached the president.
Do you have any objections to this case? I know nothing!
Former manager Kondo denied it at first, but we had submitted the restored client's driver's license to the president. When the section manager further confronted him with the fact that no one other than Kondo was using the shredder at that time on the security camera, Kondo choked on his words.
Kondo, you're also suspected of power harassment. We've even heard audio of you cursing. President! That was just a temporary whim. Please forgive me! You will be dealt with accordingly. No!
Kondo, who had nowhere to run, eventually submitted his resignation and left the company before any punishment was handed down. Rumor has it that his wife, enraged by the incident, filed for divorce. Apparently, he was a power-harassing husband at home as well. Well, it's only natural that this happened since he's been doing whatever he wants to people in weaker positions. And on one of my days off,
Excuse me.
Nami-san came to my house to return the clothes I had lent her before. And as soon as she came inside, Nami started taking off her jacket.
Okay, let's do it then.
Do what?
I mean, didn't I say I'd clean your room as a thanks for that time?
Oh, that's right. Thank you. A few hours later, we were lounging in my room, which was spotless for the first time in a while.
Thank you so much for that time. I don't know what would have happened if you didn't have my back.
No problem. I want the chief to be smiling, so...
That's the first time someone said that to me.
My heart flutters again at her smile, which softly flushed her cheeks red.
Hey, Rikuto, if you don't mind, in private, instead of Chief, can you call me by my name?
In fact, I actually confessed my feelings to Nami-san a little while ago, to which she said yes. I guess we are a couple. But...
Is that a no?
Nami-san. Be honest, I got more nervous than when I confessed my feelings. But I'm the happiest guy in the world right now.